Hey, what's up, guys? It's Tiger Arcade. Today we're going to talk a little bit about what has been happening within the company of Behringer and why that matters. Let's get right into it. I'm just going to read you what they're saying, so let's see what Behringer has said. Last night, a large online forum blocked all threads related to our product announcement, citing that the products are not in stores, a move which is likely caused due to competitor pressure and us not spending any marketing dollars on the forum. We believe in the concept of co-innovation with our customers so we can listen, engage, and improve before a product gets released. A good example is the customer feedback we received to change the micro USB connector to C-type and to develop a USB MIDI hub. We have listened and will now change the connector to USB Type-C. Thank you so much for your invaluable input. We invite everyone to engage with us here or join our dedicated synthesizer and drum Facebook page below. Basically, after looking into this more, the first question comes to mind, well, what large forum? Who blocked them, and like what's going on? After just digging around a little bit, it appears that it was a website called Gearspace. And if you haven't heard of Gearspace, maybe you've heard of Gearspace. Yeah, I guess that was their name for like 20 years, and then someone thought it was offensive, and so they did a petition.org to change their name, and they changed it last year to Gearspace. So apparently they weren't able to post any more of their products on there. They had announced about 10 different products, and you can read about each one of those on their Facebook page. Facebook, surprisingly, is actually a place where you can stay up to date on what they're doing. They sometimes post teasers on there and will respond to people's questions, concerns like, hey, I haven't heard anything about this product yet. What's going on with that? My hope is that we actually can come together more as a synthesizer community, and that includes the companies that are involved in marketing these products, releasing products. I think it's actually very constructive to announce a product that you're going to be releasing and then get customer feedback and then respond to it positively, right? When people start giving constructive feedback and then they're like, that's a good point. Maybe we should change that. A lot of people aren't liking this, so that when we release our product, it doesn't suck and no one's gonna want it. That just makes more sense to me. Now, I've heard the argument like,
I don't want to know about the product until it's released, so don't even tell me. I want a release date.
This isn't anything new that's ever happened in our society. Take, for example, when you see a movie teaser or a video game teaser, right? A trailer, they announce a product. This isn't anything that we haven't seen before. You just kind of have to view it in that perspective. And then as you kind of get constructive criticism, rather than some guy being like,
these are just toys, these are awful, these are stupid, they're ugly, and I hate them, and I want you to die.
It's like, well, what are you supposed to do with that information? Oh, the only thing that would be good is if Behringer just stopped making products and stopped ripping people off. Unfortunately, I feel like not everybody, but there's a huge portion of the music industry community that's kind of stuck in this like holy era, like anything that was made, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s.
That era is the best era, and they will never make good gear again. Anything else is stupid, and all they ever do is just clone that stuff because that was the best time.
It's like the same for music, right? You hear people, that have been around longer, and they'll be like, hey, there's no more good music anymore. Everything sucks. I disagree with you. I just think you don't know how to find things. There's actually an amazing amount of music out there and artists. You have to look at it with a different perspective, and I think that's how we're going to grow as a community, is if we realize there's still good products made. Behringer makes their own products as well. Cloning products isn't a bad thing, especially if you can imitate the circuitry to where it sounds, the naked ear, where it's really hard to tell a difference. I'd say that's awesome. The 808, for example. I've seen so many comparisons between Roland and Behringer, the 808s, and I'm like, man, that's kind of hard. It's very subtle. It's very subtle. Maybe a synth snob will be like,
Oh, it's so obvious. It's so terrible. You're just so dumb. You're a freaking noob. You don't know anything.
but I mean, that's always going to be out there. People want to buy affordable gear that sounds good. I mean, that just makes sense, right? More money in the pocket, you get to enjoy more gear. I mean, they're also cloning themselves, right? They announced the Proton was a clone of the Neutron, so they've cloned themselves. That's awesome. That's cool. They're working on improving their stuff. I mean, every company has their highs and their lows. And I don't think Behringer is this perfect company. They've done nothing wrong. They've done stuff I don't agree with. Absolutely. People have mentioned things to me in the comments, and I'm like, yeah, I think that's messed up. That's not cool. I don't think that they should have done that. We can get into that stuff if y'all want to later. If you've ever gone to the store, or if you've ever purchased like a major product from Nike, Adidas, you know what I mean? Like, one, you could say so many things negative about those companies and maybe what they're doing, right? And it's kind of the same thing with Behringer. They're just changing up a lot of their marketing decisions so that things can be more accessible to people. Yes, they're trying to turn a profit. What company wouldn't? I fully support small boutique companies. I fully support companies that, still make their products within their country. That's awesome. If Behringer doesn't work for you, more power to you. If you do like Behringer, more power to you. I'm a fence sitter on this one. I like some of the stuff they do. I don't like some of the stuff they do. If you decide that you want to support that company, that's totally up to you. So let's talk a little bit about what they had mentioned. They mentioned that they are going to implement USB-C instead, because before it was micro. I think that's awesome. USB-C is a much more reliable USB power source for many, many reasons. You can Google it. You can find out a lot of different stuff about that. It's becoming the universal standard as well for USB. So that's the right direction to go. They also mentioned a MIDI mixer hub, and you can see on that as well that that is going to have multiple channels for plugging in multiple synthesizers, right? And being able to sync them all together. So that solves a lot of issues with the MIDI concerns that people were having with the former products that they've announced. In addition to that, they also said that they might add some onboard effects. They kind of teased the idea of maybe reverb or something, but that's fine. That's cool if you want to do that. They've also announced more products since my last videos. They've announced a Model D Mini, so they're going to add that to the lineup. They've announced a Model 15. Both of these are from Moog products, whether former or current, because I know that they've reissued some of these. The Model 15 looks a little bit like a grandmother. A lot of people were saying that. And we can get into that. If y'all want me to make a video on those two products, I absolutely can, and we can kind of examine those a little bit closer. I'm totally cool with that. Just let me know in the comments what you guys want. They also made an announcement, and this isn't verbatim, but they were talking about the products, and they're saying that these are going to be great products for beginners, children. I've mentioned these are going to be, and I'm talking about the Mini-Synths, that these are going to be great products for traveling. For me personally, it's going to be desk space, right? Many of us have stuff filled up on our desks. We don't have really much real estate left over. I think it's great if you want something, in a small package that you can put on your desk. And I don't have low expectations with these as well. They're really working hard, and they have a really tight QC quality control. It's very in-depth, and they're trying to make it sound as close to the original as possible. It's not like this is just going to be a bunch of bullshit products that is just pocket change that people are just going to dick around with. I think that these are going to be usable instruments, and it just really depends on the user. Limitations. I've seen people do some fantastic stuff with Volcas. I've seen people do fantastic stuff with the Roland Boutiques, right? I mean, it's all over Instagram, all over TikTok, YouTube. You can just watch videos. People do some really great sounding things. They've made albums with it. It's more than just lo-fi, right? And I'm looking forward to doing that with these newer products. The one I'm looking forward to the most is probably still the Hero Tribe now. And that's just my personal taste. I was looking forward to, a smaller sized groove box. My first synthesizer ever was the Korg Elect Tribe, and I think it was like the second edition. It was the blue one. I can't remember the details behind that. I loved that thing. It was a great first starter for me. I'm looking forward to kind of getting my children more into synthesizers, and I think that that's a great gateway, something that can kind of do a little bit of everything. I think that one's going to be really fun, and I look forward to that one. To kind of summarize again, we need to change our perspectives as a community, because technology keeps growing and changing, and we have to as well. We have to adapt, or we're going to just get thrown in the dust, and we're going to be that bitter old person who's,
It's only about analog. You can only have the original. There will never be a good replication of this.
You know what I mean? It's like, whatever, man. People are going to just keep moving on, and you're just going to get left behind, and you can grovel by yourself. So let's grow together. Let's be constructive. Let's see where it can take us. Companies are having to adapt to the market. As if someone releases a similar product to someone else, and then they have, it for a lower price, obviously that's going to hurt that other company, and then they're going to have to adapt to that. If we can start to view things as a community, I think we'll start growing more as a community. And that's why it's important to voice your opinion, but make sure it's constructive. Just kind of groveling in the corner doesn't really help anybody. The whole reason why I think what Behringer is doing is good, again, is because it allows them to enhance their products for the users, right? And we're going to be the ones in the end buying these products, and that's really what matters. They don't want to release a product that's not going to be successful. Anyways, I really appreciate you guys sticking with me to the end. And I hope that you guys can take this message forward as the synth community, and that we can be more constructive, and that we can be more open to newer ideas, competition, and just kind of adapt with that and grow, see what we can do. I mean, I'm speaking to the companies as well. People are going to always come out with something that's going to be competitive towards your products. I think it's really important that your products can have firmware updates, that your products can adapt to the different circumstances, that maybe you release a newer product, maybe you listen to what people are saying, maybe you even announce your product in advance. Hey, we're thinking about releasing this product. Let us know what you guys think about it. This is what it's going to kind of contain. We love to hear your feedback. You know what I mean? That's a great approach on how to grow as a company and bond better with your customers. Thanks again, guys, for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll see you next time.